Welcome back to A Hobby and Development, guys. I'm excited this week to deliver you a painting tutorial on the Astra Militarum Valkyrie Assault Carrier and the Imperial Navy Lightning Fighters from the Skies of Fire box set that Games Workshop just came out with. I've been waiting to get the Aeronautical Imperialis set until they came out with this one because I like the Tau, so stay tuned. In a later video we'll be putting out how to paint on the Tau as well. Until then, I hope you enjoy the video, and please feel free to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Take me to the garden of your ecstasy. Make myself a heaven from your fallen leaves. Walking in the fabric of your tapestry. Okay guys, before you get started, I want to make sure that you hit a base layer down, a primer. I use Vallejo's primer. It does a fine job. And then I'm going to be using the Model Color Gold Brown as a base coat for the paint scheme for this. It's a yellow brown, and I think it looks good as far as a desert scheme goes. So I'm shooting it through a Sotar 2020 airbrush. I find works amazing for small detail like this, and you're going to see a lot of cuts as I go through because my air compressor on my new setup is on my table, so it shakes and it doesn't look real good. And then after we're all done with that, we're going to go in with Flat Earth, and we're going to make a spray pattern, kind of like stripes. And it's gonna kind of like camouflage, except obviously we're in the sky, but it's a desert theme, so it's gonna kind of be like a desert camo, using the two colors to contrast each other. And because we're shooting it through the airbrush, you're gonna get a nice a blend from the gradients going into each other. You could technically do this with a brush, but I prefer an airbrush, especially if I'm gonna be doing the whole set in this color. Okay guys, Mephiston red, and I'm going to be using this to decorate the plane. You can use any type of red that you'd like. I preferred this color, and I'm just going to do some stripes here and there, and feel free to decorate it however you want. You can do numbers, icons, however you want to do it. I'm not super great with freehand, so I'm keeping it kind of simple. You did see one of the planes that I did in the intro. I did a checkered pattern on the tail, and that's about as creative as I can get. And then the same thing, guys, with Corax White. The only difference here is Corax White is also going to go in the windshield, and later we'll glaze some blue over top of it, and it'll create a nice kind of like sky gradient effect from the canopy.
sky lit up your eyes. I could barely breathe no matter how I tried. I held you close just to keep you warm. Then like Jean would do, I walked you to your door. I still wonder when it all ran dry. Will it last a little longer? Do you remember when we were much better? I wish we could go back to when we went singing in the rain. We won't fight, we'll be swinging from street lights. I wish we could go back to when we went singing in the rain. That knee-high dress, oh you looked so good. You were the queen of Hollywood. Electric nights, just me and you. You kissed me on my lips, just like Deb would do. I still wonder when it all ran dry.
And next up is going to be Lead Belcher, and I'm using this on all the areas that I want to be metal: the engine cowling, the canopy, the engine intake, and some of the other nidbits that are all over the model.
Swinging from street lights, I wish we could go back to when we went singing in the rain.
I am using Corvus Black to paint the guns, and I'll later highlight that with Lead Belcher. And this is an important step. I'm taking a shade paint, Agrax Earth Shade, and I'm using a fine brush to lay it in all of the creases and in all of the low spots on the model in order to accentuate the depth of the model, especially considering that you're going to be looking at it from a tabletop. It'll make it really stand out, this coupled with our highlight layer after we finish this. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of magical post-production cuts to see the progress as we continue to do this. now that we are done with that, we're going to take Ushabti Bone and we're going to edge highlight all of the details on the model in order to allow it to pop. Now, some people might go for a more subdued edge highlight. However, I really like the model to pop, especially from like a foot, 2 feet away. This is a really stark contrast, the Ushabti Bone to the yellow brown, and it will really make it look good, guys. Keep watching and you'll see what I mean. Alright guys, grab yourself some Ariman blue or another very light blue and water it real good, and so you get kind of like an almost transparent glaze, and then go ahead and throw a little bit of that in the window and let it settle, and it will create a nice gradient from white to blue. And then if you want to darken it up, go on a later with McCrag blue underneath the first layer of blue, and it'll give a real nice canopy effect. Then I'm going to take Rhinox hide and stipple it all over the model using a piece of extra sponge that I had from one of my cases. And this will give like a weathering effect. And if you highlight underneath all of these little dots that I'm making with Ushabti Bone, it'll look nice and worn and used, as if this plane has been in and out of combat fighting those Tau. That's pretty much it, guys. You can go ahead and finish that other model off in any way you like, adding as much detail as you like. I do highlight all the Corvus black, like on the engine and on the guns with lead belcher, like I said, but I did want to show you the gunship here, because on the gunship I use Balthazar gold over the entire engine housing, and I think that looks really good in exposed metal in that fashion. And then I take some lead belcher and I highlight it up, and then I shade over that all with Nuln Oil, and then I highlight it with Stormhost silver, and I think that gives a really good a look to this model. And as you can see, everything else with this model, guys, is identical to the previous one. Feel free to highlight it up any way you'd like, and you can see the model there in the back that I already finished with the checkered white and red. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Alright, here we are finishing up with the model. Man, it looks good. I'm gonna, as a last step, I'm going to take some Corax white and I'm going to wipe it very gently over the tips of all the rockets in the rocket pod to make it look super amazing. This gunship is ready to get out there and start fighting the Tau. And if you like this video and if you like Tau, please feel free to stand by. In a couple of weeks I'm going to have another amazing video. Guys, I know nobody sticks around to the end of the credits, but please, please, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified when I post new content, and tell all of your friends about this channel because I'd love to keep growing.